Even in this era, where satellites orbit overhead and every corner of the world seems accounted for on a map, there remain places that defy understanding, places that resist the reach of civilization and technology alike. These are the Earth's most mysterious and inaccessible realms, where the rules of survival are rewritten by nature's hand, and where humanity's presence is, at best, fleeting. Here, the land itself is a fortress, guarded by extremes of climate, geography, and time. What defines these locations is not simply their remoteness, but their relentless resistance to human incursion. They are shaped by searing cold, blistering heat, unyielding stone, or endless desert. A catalog of adversity that, honestly, few have ever witnessed firsthand. In these places, isolation is not an accident, but a commandment. The world itself seems to say, "Not here, not yet." Our journey today is not one of conquest, but of reverence. We will not break these wild frontiers, but rather observe them from afar, seeking to understand and respect their enduring mysteries. In doing so, we honor the last strongholds of the unknown, and remind ourselves that awe is often found where human footprints are rarest. Nestled deep within the Siberian wilderness, Oymyakon is often called the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Winter here is a relentless tyrant, with temperatures plunging to -70 degrees Celsius. Cold enough to freeze breath in midair and turn metal brittle with a touch. For the people of Oymyakon, survival is not a seasonal concern, but a daily reality etched into every aspect of life. The village's isolation is profound. Roads become impassable for weeks, and the sun, when it appears, offers little warmth. Yet a small population endures, their homes insulated by thick logs, and their routines governed by the demands of the cold. Water must be drawn from frozen rivers, and vehicles are left running for fear engines will freeze solid within moments of stopping. Life here is a testament to adaptation. Children trudge to a single school, their faces swaddled in layers of fur, and families gather around wood stoves that burn day and night. Even the food, reindeer meat, fish, and hearty vegetables, reflects the ingenuity required to subsist in such an inhospitable environment. But Oymyakon's story is more than one of endurance. It is a dance with the elements, a daily negotiation with nature's most unforgiving moods. The people have learned to read the signs of looming storms, to respect the silence that descends with the deepest cold, and to find beauty in the brief, brilliant sunrises that gild the snow in gold. This is not a place for the faint-hearted. It is a crucible, where every action is measured against the omnipresent threat of frostbite and hypothermia. Yet, there is a fierce pride among Oymyakon's residents, a sense that their survival is a quiet act of defiance against the world's harshest winter. Indeed, here, the concept of home is redefined. It is not a place of comfort, but of resilience, a haven carved from adversity, where warmth is a shared achievement and community is forged by necessity. The bonds between neighbors are strengthened by shared hardship and mutual reliance. Yet, for all their fortitude, the people of Oymyakon do not seek to conquer their environment. Instead, they coexist with it, honoring the rhythms of snow and ice and accepting the limits imposed by the land. Their traditions, ice fishing, winter festivals, and legends told by firelight are all shaped by the cold's omnipresent hand. For outsiders, Oymyakon remains a place of fascination and mystery. To visit, even briefly, is to witness humanity's remarkable capacity for adaptation, and to glimpse a world where the ordinary is extraordinary, and survival itself is a daily triumph. In the far reaches of northeastern Ethiopia lies the Danakil Depression, one of the hottest and most alien landscapes on our planet. Here, the Earth appears to melt and boil, its surface fractured by volcanic fissures and colored by mineral-rich springs that, honestly, just seethe with toxic brilliance. This is a place where daytime temperatures routinely soar above 50 degrees Celsius, and where rain is, well, a stranger. The Danakil's appearance is otherworldly. Vast salt pans stretch to the horizon, interrupted by splashes of neon yellow, emerald green, and deep scarlet, colors born of chemical reactions between water, minerals, and volcanic heat. Geysers hiss, sulfuric pools bubble, and fumaroles vent steam into the heavy air, creating a tableau that seems more Martian than terrestrial. Life, if it exists at all, clings to the margins. Microbial mats flourish in scalding pools, and a few salt-tolerant plants eke out a living on the periphery. Yet, for the Afar people who traverse these salt flats, the Danakil is not merely a place to be endured, but a landscape to be respected for its power and unpredictability. The Afar have learned the art of survival in a crucible of flame and salt. Caravans of camels wind slowly across the salt pans, bearing blocks of crystallized salt to distant markets, a practice unchanged for centuries. Their knowledge of the land is precise and hard-won, for a single misstep can mean disaster in this unforgiving terrain. Despite its hostility, the Danakil is a place of profound scientific interest. Geologists and astrobiologists alike are drawn to its extremes, seeking clues about the origins of life and the processes that shape our planet. Yet their visits are necessarily brief and cautious, for the Danakil's dangers are as real as its wonders. The depression is a living reminder of Earth's volatility. Here, the crust is thin, and the forces that once shaped continents are still at work, erupting in geysers and earthquakes that remind us of the planet's restless heart. It is a landscape both ancient and perpetually in flux. To witness the Danakil is to confront the limits of human endurance. The heat is a constant adversary, sapping strength and will alike. But for those who pause to observe, there is a stark beauty in the raw, unfiltered power of nature, a beauty that humbles and inspires in equal measure. In the Danakil, survival is not about domination, but about humility. It is a lesson in respect, a recognition that some places are best left as they are, unchanged by human ambition or technology. The land itself demands caution, patience, and reverence. Those who journey here do so as guests, aware that the true wonder of the Danakil lies not in its conquest, but in its enduring, untamed mystery. Deep in the Algerian Sahara lies the Tassili Najer, a plateau of sculpted sandstone that rises above the shifting sands like a fortress from another age. It is a labyrinth of stone, one that guards secrets from the dawn of humanity, etched into its walls by hands long vanished. The landscape here is both forbidding and enchanting. Towering rock arches, pillars, and narrow canyons create a maze where the past and present converge. Erosion has carved the plateau into fantastical shapes, some resembling petrified forests, others like the ruins of ancient temples. In every direction, the stone tells a story of time measured not in centuries, but in millennia. What sets Tassili Najer apart is its vast gallery of rock art. Over 15,000 images depicting animals, hunters, and scenes of daily life from a Sahara that was once green and teeming with life. These paintings and engravings are among the oldest in the world, offering a window into a forgotten era. Yet, reaching these treasures is no simple task. The plateau is accessible only by arduous journeys through desert and stone, and even then, the art is scattered across remote cliffs and hidden grottos. The climate is unforgiving, scorching by day, freezing by night, with little water to be found. Only the hardiest of travelers can endure the journey. For archaeologists and historians, Tassili Najer is a priceless archive, one that reveals how climate and culture have shifted over thousands of years. The images show herds of cattle, elephants, and even swimmers, hinting at a Sahara once lush and fertile. They are reminders of nature's power to transform even the harshest landscapes. But the plateau's isolation is its greatest safeguard. The difficulty of access has preserved the art for millennia, shielding it from vandalism and the pressures of tourism. It stands as a testament to the endurance of both stone and story, a place where the past endures, untouched and unspoiled. The few who venture here speak of a profound silence, broken only by the wind and the occasional call of a desert fox. In this stillness, one feels the weight of history and the smallness of human endeavor against the immensity of time. Tassili Najar is not a place to be hurried through. It demands patience, humility, and a willingness to listen to the quiet voices of stone and sand. Here, the landscape itself is an open book, its pages written in shadow and light. For those who respect its solitude, Tassili Najar offers not only a glimpse of ancient artistry, but a lesson in the value of what endures beyond the reach of modern life. Beneath the endless daylight of the Antarctic summer, the McMurdo Dry Valleys stretch for miles. A landscape so stark, so devoid of life, that it seems almost extraterrestrial. Here, in the heart of the coldest continent, lies a world where snow rarely falls and ice is locked deep beneath the surface. The dry valleys are a paradox, one of the driest places on Earth, in the midst of its greatest reservoir of ice. Winds howl through the valleys at hurricane force, scouring the ground clean of snow and leaving behind a barren expanse of gravel, rock, and ancient lake beds. The air is so cold and so dry that only the hardiest microbes survive. For scientists, this is a natural laboratory, a place to study life at its limits and to glimpse conditions that may once have existed on Mars. Research stations are temporary outposts, their inhabitants braving the cold and isolation for weeks or months at a time, always wary of the environment's unforgiving demands. There are no permanent settlements here. Human presence is fleeting, measured in research seasons and expeditions. Supplies must be flown in, and every aspect of life is dictated by the harshness of the land. The smallest mistake can have dire consequences, and self-sufficiency is essential. Yet the dry valleys are not entirely lifeless. Cyanobacteria grow in thin films beneath rocks, and in the briny lakes, simple organisms persist against all odds. These discoveries have profound implications, hinting at the resilience of life and the possibility of finding it in the most unlikely places in the universe. The landscape itself is mesmerizing. Jagged peaks cast long shadows over frozen lakes, while wind-carved boulders stand as silent sentinels. The silence is absolute, broken only by the crunch of footsteps and the distant groan of shifting ice. For those who come here, the experience is transformative. The dry valleys strip away the superfluous, revealing the raw essence of existence, survival, adaptation, and the quiet dignity of life in extreme isolation. But this is not a place for conquest. The Antarctic Treaty ensures that the region is protected for science and peace, free from human exploitation. Respect for the land is paramount, and every visitor is reminded that their presence is a privilege, not a right. In the McMurdo Dry Valleys, nature reigns supreme, and the only mark humanity leaves is the knowledge gained from careful, respectful observation. Sweeping across the heart of Australia, the Great Victoria Desert is a land of quiet majesty, vast, remote, and largely uninhabited. Stretching over 700 kilometers, it is a place where the horizon seems limitless, and the land rolls in a succession of red dunes, salt lakes, and stony plains. Isolation here is total. Few roads cross the desert, and those that do are little more than faint tracks in the sand. Human settlements are rare, and the distances between them are measured in days rather than hours. For most, the Great Victoria remains a distant, unapproachable frontier. The climate is harsh and unpredictable. Daytime temperatures soar, only to plummet after sunset. Rain is infrequent, falling in brief, violent storms that vanish as quickly as they arrive. Despite this, life finds a foothold. Desert oaks, spinifex grasses, and an array of reptiles and insects adapted to the extremes. Indigenous Australians have traversed these lands for thousands of years, their knowledge of water sources, food, and shelter passing from generation to generation. Their connection to the desert is profound, woven into songlines and stories that map the landscape in ways invisible to outsiders. The Great Victoria's remoteness is its greatest defense. Few dare to venture far from the safety of known tracks, and those who do must be prepared for every eventuality. Navigation is an art, and survival depends on a deep understanding of the land's rhythms and secrets. For explorers and scientists, the desert holds many mysteries: ancient meteorite craters, fossilized lakebeds, and traces of early human occupation. Each discovery is hard-won, extracted from a landscape that yields its secrets only to the patient and the prepared. Yet the desert's true challenge is not in its hazards, but in its vastness. Here, the mind is confronted by scale, by solitude, and by the realization of how small and temporary human presence truly is. The Great Victoria Desert is not a place to be tamed, but a realm to be respected. Its silence is profound, its beauty understated, and its resistance to intrusion absolute. Those who cross it often speak of a deep sense of humility, a recognition of the power and permanence of nature. In this endless expanse, wonder lies not in what can be possessed or altered, but in what remains untouched, an enduring frontier, watched over by sky and sand. As we have seen, the world still holds places that defy access and explanation, lands where nature remains sovereign and human presence is but a whisper. These are not realms to be conquered or subdued, but wonders to be observed with humility and respect. Their very inaccessibility is what preserves their mystery, granting us a rare glimpse of the world as it was, and as it might always be. By standing at the threshold of these frontiers, we are reminded that true awe is not found in mastery, but in reverence. The power and beauty of Oymyakon's winter, the Danakil's flames, Tassili's silent archives, the dry valley's barrenness, and the Great Victoria's endlessness, each calls for admiration, not possession. They endure beyond our reach, untouched by our ambitions. Let us cherish these inaccessible places, not as challenges to be overcome, but as testaments to the wild, enduring spirit of our planet. For in what remains unseen and unexplored, we find the purest form of wonder, a reminder that, even in a well-mapped world, mystery still thrives where the human journey pauses in awe.